VRChat, the next frontier. These are the experiences from Gunter's universe. His continuing mission, to seek out and connect with VR devs and passionate enthusiasts, to discuss theories, beliefs, and rhetoric of all kind, and to boldly go where no show has ever gone before.
All right. Hello, everyone. How are you doing, Madman Olivier? Hey, good. Violet, Bob, Chris. Oh, and Pill and K-Dog are back there. What's going on, everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Gunter's Universe. This is the one and only live talk show broadcasting from the metaverse here in VRChat. That's where you can come every Tuesday. Download VRChat. It's easy. It's free. Come join us Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. To watch the show live. We have all kinds of great guests and fun here on the show. Guarantee you'll enjoy it. If you can't watch us in person in VRChat, maybe you're just on desktop and you'd rather watch a stream, well, we got that too. You can go over to twitch.tv/Gunter444. Okay, tonight with me, I've got a good friend who just spent 100 hours in a VR headset. Cris Miranda, he's of Enter VR. He's also with Vivid Vision. Chris, my friend, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for having me, Gunter. Good to be here.
Yeah. I got a lot of questions for you. I want to make sure you're okay. I know right now you're not in VR mode, right?
No, I'm not in VR mode. I'm taking a week off.
That's probably good, right?
Well deserved.
And that was Bob, a.k.a. Cosnifex, also known as co-host of Gunter's Universe. What's going on, Bob?
Not too much. Just chilling out on a Tuesday night.
All right. Now, your mic sounds amazing, and that's because you're using the Blue Yeti again, where instead of the crappy Vive mic that I have.
This is true, yeah. Yeti's much better for recording.
Let's get a quick take from Kenny or anybody in the audience. How loud is Bob compared to everybody else on the table?
Much louder. Much louder.
Well,
all right, I can move this back.
He's actually perfect. The audio on him is perfect.
Oh, it is, but
Loud and
we all
clear.
have to be. We have to be there on the same level. Okay, so.
I'm surprised to even hear you on the Vive mic, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I need to yell. A lot of times I do, and I'm like, oh, great. People in my house are like, why is he yelling? I thought he's just doing a talk show. But that's what you have to. The VR talk at you loud show. All right, Bob, you're up. You read the news every single week. You picked out some good stories. I believe the NVIDIA story is first. Tell us about it.
Yep, good evening. I'm Cosnifex, bringing you the top headlines in the VR news from this past week. Our top story this week, NVIDIA announced their consumer Pascal architecture video cards this past Friday at DreamHack Gamer Gathering in Austin, Texas. The GTX 1080 will sport 8 gigabytes of GDDR5X memory with 9 teraflops of performance. Founders Edition will be available starting on May 27th at $699 US MSRP, and custom boards from partners with $599 US MSRP. NVIDIA claims the GTX 1080 is 3 times as fast as a GTX 980 in performance based on the Barbarian benchmark. The GTX 1070 will also support 8 gigabytes of graphic memory, but will use slower GDDR5 memory instead of the GDDR5X memory found in the 1080. However, at 6.5 teraflops of performance, it will still outperform a Titan X. The 1070 will be released on June 10th for $449 for the Founders Edition, and custom boards from partners will be $379 US MSRP. NVIDIA will also be releasing their first VR experience called VR Funhouse that includes 10 Carnival-inspired minigames that will showcase what the Pascal architecture can do for VR. Some of the VRWorks technologies in the game will include single-pass stereo rendering, lens-matched shading, physics for VR, NVIDIA VRWorks Audio, and VRSLI. VR Funhouse will be released soon on Steam for the HTC Vive, and will be open-sourced, so developers, artists, and enthusiasts can learn how to make similarly compelling experience with the power of Unreal Engine 4 and the GTX 1080. For more information on VR Funhouse and VRWorks, visit GeForce.com. Lastly, for NVIDIA news, they've also announced Ansel, which allows you to capture screenshots up to 4.5 gigapixel resolution, or 32 times higher than your screen resolution. From NVIDIA's newsroom, quote, with Ansel, you can also capture 360-degree panoramic screenshots. It automatically stitches the 360-degree panorama in mono or stereo so you can view them in Google Cardboard or your PC in a VR headset. For Cardboard users, we've released the NVIDIA VR News Viewer bundled with the Ansel 360-degree capture screenshots that you can view today.
A lot of news from NVIDIA, man. Jeez, the 1080. I've been waiting to hear about this.
Yeah, it seems like crazy performance gains for VR.
I mean, yeah, and just Pascal architecture, that's what we thought was coming, and it was going to be huge gains, and then, man, all this great VR goodness baked in. But yeah, I'm looking at one of those cards. I don't really need to, but oh boy, that's going to be nice. What card do you have?
I've got a GTX 980 superclocked, so I think I'm pretty good for now. I'll probably wait until either Black Friday or, maybe even further than that until I find a game that it requires me to upgrade.
So loud, it's like you're in my soul. I mean, you're just like...
Sorry, I'll move my mic.
You need to take the game down so you can hear the fan in the background.
Okay.
All that great Yeti you're bumping into, it's just blowing my ears out right now.
How's that? Is that...
Moving when you...
Is this too loud or is it...
Go to your volume control and...
There's gain on the back.
How about that?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm using the Yeti. Is that quieter?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Really good.
There's still like background noise, but that's not a big deal. But just so you know for your own sake.
Yep.
Riveting VR talk. But NVIDIA. Chris, what card did you have? What were you running your 100 hours on?
Titan X. I borrowed one from the office.
Cool.
And so everything ran pretty much buttery smooth with it. And I'm excited for this 1080. It sounds insane. It sounds insane.
Yeah, I mean, even the 1070 having higher performance than a Titan X. That's for the price that they're offering is crazy.
Price point?
It is. Let me look that up again. It's going to be $379 for the non-Founders Edition.
Wow.
That's MSRP too, so you might see it a little bit lower than that with rebates.
Really glad I bought a 980, not a 980 Ti. I think I bought that last July or so, and I was like, no. I'm happy with my decision.
Still, I bet you there's still a fair amount of people who are selling off their 980 Ti's right now, or their 970s or whatever. Even their Titan X's, I'm sure there's, because now a $370 video card is more powerful than your Titan X, $1,000, $800 Titan X. That's crazy.
Yeah, what are those guys gonna do? How much are they
eBay.
I wonder how much these cards are gonna be on eBay. Yeah, interesting. I'll be looking at the market to see. I got my 980 for $400 on eBay back last June or August. So
that's a
I've
good
got
deal.
a lot of mileage out of it. It was $420 to be actually precise. Cool. What else is going on in news, Bob?
All right. So in other news, we have The Void yesterday announced their cooperation with Sony Pictures on Ghostbusters Dimension, a hyper-reality experience that will open up July 1st at Madame Tussauds in New York City's Times Square. This marks the Void's very first experience to open to the public. Audiences will experience what it's like to be a Ghostbuster, tracking and trapping a supernatural foe through a New York apartment complex in an environment that combines physical props and sets, real-time interactive effects, and virtual reality technology designed by the Void. On the Void blog, James Jensen, Chief Visionary Officer at the Void, added his enthusiasm to the project, saying, quote, "The Ghostbusters world is a perfect fit for the Void, because we literally strap our Rapture vest and gun onto you, and they turn into your proton pack and your proton gun. You become a Ghostbuster, investigating an apartment filled with ghosts in a 3-player adventure, where hopefully you won't destroy New York City." We all had the same goal, to create the most authentic Ghostbusters experience possible. Curtis Hickman, president of Void Studios, said, quote, "We're using the same sounds, 3D models, and textures from the film to recreate a world where you'll struggle to capture ghosts and cause an unbelievable amount of damage. Tickets are on sale now at ghostbusters.madametussauds.com. Tussauds is spelled Tussauds. And make sure to select the Ghostbusters Dimension ticket for the hyper reality experience.
Right.
I got my tickets booked for July 1st, 9 a.m.
That's the first showing. Nice.
Yep.
Me and my wife are thinking of going up there. For this.
Yep, my wife and I are going to be going, and so I booked our hotel last night, got our Void tickets, and yep, so we'll be making a few-day adventure of New York again.
Yeah. So where are you staying?
We're staying like 8-minute walk away at I don't remember the name of the place.
Whatever.
Hold on.
It's not important. And the Void, man, they got Ghostbusters teamed up with Sony. This is great news. There was something when we were at the Void a couple weeks ago. There was something that we couldn't try, and then they showed us, the Rapture gun, and we were like, "Ooh, we got to see that," but we didn't get to use it inside an Void experience. So this is what they were hiding. I'm so stoked for them. Those guys are so cool. And in July, you can try it in New York City. How about that?
Hilton Garden Inn, Times Square. That's the one that we're staying at.
All right, if everybody wants to party, July 1st, get your tickets and let's go. Let's all go to the Void together.
Yeah, so it's going to be 3. It says 3 people, so there's only my wife and I so far. So we got like an open spot for.
Yeah, I'll go, and my wife can go by herself.
Yeah, or maybe
Finally,
someone
you
else
guys
in the
get to come
community
down to
can
New
go.
York City.
Yeah. Oh, and you're there, man. You get.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You get to ride the Void what you want.
Yeah, so I'm coming on the 30th in the evening, and then we'll stay on Thursday night, Friday, and then come home Saturday afternoon.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, I recommend everybody do that. Chris,
I really hope that this is a glimpse of the future of movies, or like a part of the future of movies. Because
it's
now
like
that you see Ghostbusters, I'm thinking about like, well, shit, I want to experience Independence Day 3 in VR, and Iron Man 7 in VR, and all these other great Godzilla in VR, or whatever, like with the Void and stuff. Going to a physical location where you get that, this is something that you can't get at home sort of experience, will be really exciting. I'm sure every Hollywood executive is screaming their pants.
Yep.
But
yeah, so the movies...
You'll be traveling from Void, through portal to portal to different universes as your avatar and your character continues to like gain points and level up through all these experiences. So I could totally see a bunch of movie experiences in which you visited.
Name a movie. What movie do you want to experience, Gunter and Cause? Which one would you love to experience inside the Void?
Ooh.
Is this upcoming movies? Is this any movie?
Any movie in the world.
Come to mind.
Star Wars.
Oh, The Matrix. Yeah, Star Wars is good.
There's a lot of big ones. How can you? Ghostbusters is great. I mean, I wanna strap on the proton pack and fucking shoot ghosts and shit, dude. That's cool.
Or you can be a Jedi and fucking slice and dice stormtroopers.
Cool. All right, we'll talk more about the Void when they will be on the show again, coming up. Oh, I don't know, in a month or so. As soon as we get some logistics taken care of. I hope we get the whole team. I'd love to get Curtis Hittman on there. He's the magician and guy behind the redirected walking, and it's his dad, Tracy, that is the one writing the epic story for the Void, and again has the one written a lot of Dragonlance. So it's cool that that all these people are involved. Okay, in other news, Bob?
Okay, so up next we have, in partnership with NBC Sports, Next VR streamed the Kentucky Derby from the Churchill Downs this past Saturday with 5 trackside cameras and 1 in the paddock area. Next VR also announced this last week partnerships with Time Inc., bringing magazine content from its brands to 360-degree video, and Ticketmaster's Live Nation, bringing concerts to 360 video for the first of which will be announced this summer. And finally, the Guinness Book of World Records longest video game marathon on a virtual reality game system is 25 hours and 2 minutes and was achieved by Derek Westerman in Los Angeles, California on April 7th. The virtual reality system used during the attempt was the HTC Vive, and Derek used Tilt Brush for the entire attempt. Previous unofficial attempts include 48 Hours by Thorsten Weidmann's Disconnected Performance art piece live streamed from the Game Science Center in Berlin, and 100 Hours live streamed on Hitbox from the Bay Area in California by our guest this evening, Cris Miranda.
Hey.
Yeah.
Have you gotten any sleep since then, buddy?
Yeah. Is this a segue into our conversation about this?
It is.
It was a great segue. Great segue. I got to give it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, dude, I'll tell you, basically, now I have words to describe what exactly happened right after I took off the headset. And the words that first come to mind are vivid. Everything that I looked at felt and looked more vivid than ever. It was like as if I had forgotten what the real world resolution was supposed to be, and my brain just adapted, just got used to seeing everything pixelated, everything in the Vive and the gear. So every color popped up just a little more. And then here's the crazy part, because frankly, throughout the whole 100 hours, I was either in pass-through mode, which is monoscopic view, so I don't have a sense of depth or 3D or stereopsis, right? Or I was in the Vive's virtual world, and that world was more exaggerated 3D than the one we perceive with our own eyes. And so I forgot, or my brain forgot what regular 3D looked like. And that's why I remember saying wow so much, was because all of a sudden my brain had like this moment of like click, oh, this is what real 3D looks like. Because I completely forgot. By I say hour 48, my brain just had completely adapted, and that was crazy.
It was like 3D or reality deprivation, man. You weren't in the real world this whole time, and yeah, when you were saying that, like, oh man, things are really 3D. I didn't take it as like something quite as cheesy as like, yeah, obviously the real world is real 3D. I was just in a fake world, but know that your perception shifted and your brain accounted and got used to that virtual and its sense of how your eyes operate in there to them coming out of that, and it's just like, whoa, wow, the real world is just more precious. It's almost like going through a trip or something.
Yeah, I would say this is what makes this, in a way, part of this I think what makes this partly special is because I think this is the first, or one of the few, at least one of the few instances where vision in nature goes from going worse to better. Like, sure, we can talk about glasses, but like in nature, like with animals and stuff, like if we had no glasses in the state of nature, our visions would just get worse and worse and worse over the years. But this experience was like I went from good vision, I have 20/20 vision, I'm a little bit farsighted, but I have 20/20 vision, to putting on the headset and trying to adjust to a lower resolution world, a more opaque world, or a greenish world, depending on the pass-through camera. And I had adapted, but at the end, you know, like going from that to like my real eyes, that was insane. That leap of like how good it felt, like how good everything looked. It was like going from DK1 to CV1 in like one generation. You know, it was kind of like that.
Instant upgrade. So,
but there were side effects.
So there's a story to all this on, I want to know why you did it. Did you do it to potentially get a record, or was there a different motive?
No. So I've done this podcast for the past 3 years or about to be 3 years.
Enter VR.
And the Enter VR podcast, and it's a place. It's an outlet for me to be myself and say the fucked up crazy shit that I like to say, and also it's a place for me to sort of let out I sort of let it become my vehicle of exploration, because I'm a naturally curious, explorative guy, and if I had a chance at another life, I would come out to be an astronaut, because that is the ultimate frontier in my mind. And since I can't explore that frontier based on the circumstances that I'm in, then I'm going to explore virtual reality through conversation. And so that's where NTVR came from. And throughout these conversations, I've asked a question to people. And I don't know where this question came from, frankly, but I started asking people a question like, hey, what would you think would happen to someone if they were in virtual reality for like 100 hours, 300 hours, something like that? And no one has ever given me, after 150 interviews, no one has ever given me an answer that would have satisfied me. And so I decided to sort of find out on my own and do my own like pseudoscience experiment. Just the only thing that I was looking for, if anything changed at the end of the 100 hours, and in that way, I say the experiment was successful. It's one of the reasons why I did it on Hitbox and not Twitch, because I wasn't trying to become like a meme, an internet celebrity. I was just trying to see if I can get witnesses to see this experiment unfold. Because one thing is to go 25 hours in VR, but it's another thing to go 100 hours in mixed reality. And the majority of it was in VR.
Yeah, I spent a good amount of time with you chatting on the Hitbox stream there. You were able to pull up your desktop from your Vive headset, so it's great that Valve built in that Steam overlay with the ability to look at your desktop so we could still talk to you.
Yeah.
That was excellent.
I'm more convinced than ever based on the experiences we've had, Gunter, like chatting, playing like hover junkers together and mini golf, and then me able to like do some work while I was in the 100 hours, like in mixed reality. Like I'm more convinced than ever that this is the future of computing, or at least this is the start to what the future of computing would look like. Because I was able to do everything without having to take off the headset. I could have ordered pizza. I could have done my taxes. I could have done everything without having to take off the headset. It was eye-opening also to see that.
Yeah, we got to play hover junkers. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
One of the things I noticed with a lot of these Vive games, I'm like worn out, man. If I sound tired, it's because I've been playing Vive titles like crazy, and things like Audio Shield or Space Pirate Trainer or Hover Junkers, they're about killing me, man. My back's killing me. All the muscles in my legs I never use are all sore for a few days. So I found that, like, here you are not only hanging out in VR for 100 hours, but, like, you're moving, man. You're moving hard. You're taking a lot. You're doing a lot of VR during that 100 hours.
I thought it was funny that his very first thing he started with was Audio Shield.
I know, I saw.
Yeah,
Pace yourself. I heard you talking about pacing yourself later. What was all that like, dealing with the fatigue?
Dude, that sort of caught me off guard. Because I like to think that I'm in good shape. But I don't think my body was ready, like Reggie said. Not in this situation. I don't think my body was ready for this sort of strain. And it's because, frankly, these games are optimized to get the most dopamine out of you in the shortest amount of time as possible. It's like they're meant to like peak your levels of dopamine. And when you go back to back to these experiences, it's like your brain doesn't have enough time to replenish those reserves, right? So I don't know. It was
fun.
Yeah, it was exhausting. Like it was, yeah, because so I don't know. But it also had the reverse effect of like if I played Dragon Forces Through the Fire and Flames in Audio Shield,
Like that's the one I play.
Oh yeah.
that dude, that's the only one anyone should ever play. No, that one is so good that it gets you fired up, even though your dopamine levels are depleted. Like that. So I don't know. I feel like more research needs to be done here because I feel like I got some mixed results. But there's definitely some patterns or something going on.
Yeah, those games of I don't know. I'm liking how active I'm getting on all of those games, and there's many more. Hordes is another pretty action-packed game. What other games did you play along your trip?
I think some of the ones that stand out are one Vanishing Realms. Because I'm a huge Zelda fanboy. And if there was ever a Zelda version in VR, it would be just like Vanishing Realms. It was awesome. I really liked the dungeon crawling. It was nice and presence-inducing. I also liked Audio Shield, as we talked earlier, Through the Fire and Flames, one of the best songs, the only song that anyone should ever play. I also liked huh?
You said it twice now, so it's...
Oh yeah. So let's see. I also like Hover Junkers. It was nice, quick. It was like a quick fix of like adrenaline and dopamine when you finally got someone. But people are really fucking good in that game.
So good. So I guess I started getting better. I had some internet issues, which was causing major problems. But a day after, I started doing pretty good. But there's a good amount of people playing that game. I was pleasantly surprised. We played with some of our friends. Olivier's that's behind you right now, was hanging out in the stream as well and playing games. Hover Junkers is cool. I'm not sure. It's hard controls, but it's just fast. It's just satisfying when you're in combat with somebody else with a gun, because you can't normally do that in real life. And now you're aiming with your hands. And I just find that pretty satisfying. But it's an odd game. It's certainly an odd situation.
I did so many squats playing that game.
Yes.
I lost count. It's gonna get to a point where like professional Hover Junkers players are gonna have disproportionately larger butts than anyone else. And people are gonna be like, oh, that person plays Hover Junkers. They got a big
Hover
butt.
junkie.
Yeah. Got some hover junk in that trunk.
Professional people that are athletic, like Space Pirate Trainer. Holy shit, the high score, you can go watch it. This dude just doesn't miss. It just hits them all perfectly, and until it's 15-minute run. It's just insane. So
fucking crazy.
Fucking crazy is right. And I can't wait to watch these kinds of esports. I feel like that's what I'm doing when I'm playing these games. Is I'm playing a sport more so than just sitting and using my mind to play a video game. It just feels more physical activity. I'm gonna have to want to sweat. I have to want to be on my legs, and I don't want to go outside and play sports for whatever reason. South Florida, it's super fucking hot, so I don't want to go play basketball. But I'll shoot some hoops inside the loading area and Hover Junkers. That's fun.
I'm excited for VR esports and drone racing. Those are the two sets of sports that I'm really going to be watching a lot.
Yeah, Pizzy, if he's still here, he does drone racing. I'm talking to him about that after the show. It's super cool. Bob, what else should we ask Chris
So
here.
what kind of? I know you've been talking about this for years. Like I think ever since I first met you you've been talking about wanting to do this. So what kind of preparation went into setting this all up? I mean, like just like how did you like think about dealing with food and having to go to the bathroom, bathing, all that sort of stuff?
A lot of brick shitting was done in the process of making this project happen. Like I had to improvise a lot. I had to improvise a lot more than I had at all anticipated. Like I would say, I talked so much, about like doing this project, that I never really like bothered to like go too deeply into the logistics because I never felt like the time was right. I always felt like, I'm gonna start working the logistics as soon as this and this happens, right? And it seemed like the time became ripe, and it sort of caught me off guard, flat-footed. And so I was just like, well, the time is ripe. Fuck planning. Let's just do it. And I did it, and it was a lot of improvising, like the Gear VR camera and troubleshooting on the fly, like that shit. Like I came up with that on the day of. During the stream, I had realized like, oh, I can use the Gear VR to troubleshoot and still be confined to a VR headset, or
You've been screwed without the gear.
Fuck yes, dude. You have no idea. Oh man.
So you were like mindful whenever you took the Gear VR off to like charge it up to make sure that it was like always charged?
Yeah, this felt like the Martian, like a space exploration mission. And I also played with my mind a bit. Like I told myself that like, I played this game of like, if my eyes see daylight or see real world light, I die or something. I would tell myself, or it's poisonous, something. Like just to play like a 5-year-old game, like to continue seeing if I could stay within the means. Although I will confess to this. One night, I think it was the second night. I don't know how much time had gone by, but I remember waking up and the headset was not on. And I immediately freaked the fuck out. I went, oh, and I put it back on. And I don't remember how long I had it off. I just don't remember I don't even remember taking it off. It seemed like my subconscious mind was having an argument with my conscious mind. And my subconscious mind was like, all right, fine, I'll let you have it on. And when my conscious mind turned off, subconscious mind went like, fuck it, I'm taking it off.
Or you could just rolled over in your sleep.
I could have done that, yeah. But I freaked out. I was like, no, this can't happen ever again. No one must know. So yeah, next time it needs to be done better, much better. I need to make sure that it's done with a proper, much more.
Tell us about that. You seem like you want to do this again, and that you want to do.
Well, I'm a little bit hesitant now that I think about it, that it can be done. I think it can be done. I don't know if I want to do it. I think it can be done, but I don't know if I told you guys about like the symptoms or like the side effects. Like there was a mesh pattern burned into my retina, and every time I closed my eyes, or even when I had my eyes open for the first 24 hours after taking the headset off, like I could see the screen door effect, or a transparent pattern of the screen door effect welded into my reality, into my vision. And that was weird because I was like, what the fuck? I thought I took the fucking thing off. Like, go away, screen door effect. And it got less and less and less pronounced. Like right now, I don't have it anymore. I close my eyes and I can move, and it's gone.
Okay.
But it was a little bit weird. I was like, holy shit, I hope this isn't permanent. I don't want to fuck up my vision that bad. The other thing that happened was, I think either like my optic chasm got another not a screen door, but like a light effect burned into it the first night. So I had my eyes closed in the dark, and I saw this, and I would see this giant 40 degree smudge in my vision. If I stared at the back of my eyelids in the dark, I would see this like giant smudge, like a white smudge. And it was like, and it would cover my right field of view more than my left. And I was like, what the fuck? It looks like I burnt, something else into my vision, but that went away after the first night also. So I feel like I've been playing with fire a little bit.
So is your vision back to normal now?
One thing hasn't become normal, and that is the fact that like when I look at faraway houses and objects in the hills by my house or when I'm driving, they have this weird effect that I've never had before. Everything looks more 3D than ever. In fact, they almost look miniature. Like something, like the scale of the world is kind of off all of a sudden. You see what I'm saying? Like I fucked up my sense of scale or something.
Wow.
I don't see what you're saying, but I'm listening to it and it sounds pretty fucked up.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Like I look at it, I look at the houses in the hills, and like it makes me want to sing like little houses on the hilltop, little houses on the hilltop. That kind of song comes to mind because it just reminds me of like sort of looking at a sim world of houses that look really three-dimensional, but they look miniature, far away. It's weird. In my thinking, and we're thinking about this at the office, and I think this might be because of the fact that the Vive had me focusing at infinity for that amount of time. And maybe that left some sort of like weird neural pathway in my visual cortex. I don't know.
Yeah, it will be interesting to hear back in like a month or two if that's still there. If that's like long term or still like of a somewhat short term item.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your day job. I know that you are part of the Vivid Vision team, and I know those guys, James Blaha, Manish Guptan, they were both sitting around this table, I don't know, probably 5 months ago. So you're working with them now?
Yeah. I'm helping out with their marketing and communications and social media. And podcasting. I podcast about vision therapy with for Vivid Vision, and it's a lot of fun. They're probably some of the coolest human beings I've ever met. And yeah, the cause that they're working towards is worthy.
Absolutely. Such a great cause, such a great story, and just what's going on there. I mean, just people that don't know what Vivid Vision does or James's backstory, why don't you?
Yeah. So James cured himself from lazy eye using virtual reality. He developed a program based on some research that he had just uncovered on the internet, and he mocked up something in his DK1 one day, and he played with it, and then one day his keyboard popped out because it was the first time in his life that he saw 3D, and things went from that to trying to raise 2K for Indiegogo, raises 20K, moves to SF, raises 700K, and now we're like more than 1,000 patients have gone through the system, and we're working with universities on releasing clinical trials by the end of the year, CSF to be specific, and it's really cool because there's 6 million, anywhere between 6 to 13 million. The numbers will range. Unfortunately, we should really be keeping track of these things better. But like, there's 6 to 13 million people with binocular vision disorders, binocular vision disorders in the U.S. And there's not enough doctors to treat them. And what we want to do is we want to make treatment to them available, and just so that we can just eradicate the shit out of lazy eye from the face of the planet. We have the tools
one
now.
game at a time. They play games to do that. That's great.
Yeah. You play games. The treatment involves games that are much more engaging and much more immersive and effective than what vision therapy does today. So it's kind of cool. That's actually extremely cool.
Yeah. One of my favorite interviews. I don't always get a chance to, get people outside of developing video games, but when I do, I really like it. Of course, I love games and all of this. Of course, grew up with games, love games. But whenever I see VR impacting other areas, and whenever I get to talk to them, that person, or that organization on the show, it's just great. So, love James Baja's work. So glad he got cured of lazy eye with this program. And obviously, there's something interesting going on with vision there. You can cure some conditions with VR, and in your case, after being in VR for 100 hours, you've had your vision messed with. You still see some weird something in the infinity, seeing miniature.
Yeah, my perception. Something with my perception got not disconnected. It's just something. My perception changed a little bit. Perception of objects far away, specifically. So it's been interesting.
For science.
For science, everyone. So if this is done again, it needs to be done with like stereoscopic pass-through cameras. If it's going to be done in mixed reality at all, but it also needs to be done in next generation hardware. The current hardware is not good enough.
Well, yeah, I want to see only.
Yeah, the Robotic Totem can do that now.
Oh yeah, you could go from AR to VR with that. It's just a little turn dial on the side of your head. Yep.
And stereo.
I'd like to see just VR at some point. How long can somebody do that? We've seen that with the 48-hour Vive guy, and Sarah Vogel was helping him out. So I definitely think the next, if you do it again, or the next people, you obviously need a sitter. And then apparently for Guinness Book, you need like 2 witnesses. So might as well get all that together, and whoever goes for the next goal.
Yeah, whoever does it, just make sure that you talk to a doctor before. Make sure that you don't die. Make sure you got health insurance, and you're speaking to, and you at least contacted a scientist or a researcher nearby you. Try, because it'll pay off. You never know. I got in touch with optometrists, and I've been in touch with my doctor, and researchers and scientists, and
Really, you did all that. Interesting.
yeah, like I did a lot of that, thanks to like a big part Vivid Vision. Like we were connected with some of the most intelligent people in vision therapy or in the vision field in the country. So I've had access to having conversations with them, and a couple of them told me that, well, you after your 100 hours, you're just gonna feel a little tired, and that's probably it. But they were wrong. But yeah, it's interesting.
Did you go and get your eyes checked out after the 100 hours? Or have you done that?
Yeah, my friend who's an optometrist gave me a quick test the day after. He just wanted, so basically he wanted to test my ability to focus, because the Vive is set at a set point, right? I can't focus in and out of objects. And so I did a quick eye test. It seemed like my ability to focus it did not diminish at all. So that's good. And something that he tested me for something else I can't remember anymore. But yeah, everything checked out pretty good when it came to a couple of things in my vision. It's just my perception that became fucked up.
Do you think that had to do with when you're switching to the camera on the Gear VR, that you're using mono instead of stereo to see the real world?
It could be. This is why this is interesting research, or these are interesting areas to ponder about, because I don't know whether it was all because of the Gear VR or it was all because of the Vive, or which one had a more of an effect than the other, if at all. I don't know. All I know is that thanks to this, I have this interesting new perceptual thing going on, and it's not bad. It's novel. I would consider it novel, because I'm like looking out the car window or out the train, and I'm like, ooh, those houses look cool. Whoa, they look 3D. Like I've never done that before, so I don't know. It's just been novel. Now that the screen door effect is gone, at least everything's been novel.
How did you deal with the depth perception of when you're using the Gear VR to do things like, I don't know, like make food, use a restroom, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, wiping your butt.
Echolocation. I clicked my cheeks, and I would hear the sound waves bouncing off the object, and no, I'm just kidding. Obviously not.
I'm like, about to call some bullshit there.
Chris is
No,
half
no,
dolphin.
definitely not. I was just guesstimating. And sometimes I would knock shit off the ground, or I would, like, I probably bumped into a wall once or twice.
Got the gear wet
because
or in the shower.
I did not get the gear wet.
Yeah, did you take a bath or anything?
I did. I took 2 showers with the Gear VR on, and I took video of myself with the shower, giving myself a shower. Yeah. And I've been meaning to upload a snapshot of me in the shower with a Gear VR on, sort of to, unleash my Robert Scoble moment on the world. But I haven't been able to, because my phone got wet in the process, and now I'm getting this like corrupted file error. So I gotta figure out how to fix it. But when I do, I'll just post myself naked in the shower wearing a Gear VR. And tag you, Gunter and Cause and everyone.
Please Snapchat. So, what is Metaverse Scholars Club, Chris? That's a secret organization. Are we allowed to talk about it?
No, we can totally talk about it. So the Metaverse Scholars Club is a meetup group that I started a year ago. And it's evolved to now, it started with just me having panels and talking to people, to now we're moving on to doing whatever the fuck we want, and it's awesome. We're doing classes, and we do panels, and we do experiments, and we're trying to do video game tournaments. We're doing whatever we want with this thing, and we're letting people come out and hang out with us, and just, and it's giving us the ability to meet really, really chill people. Because we'll say, I'll teach a course, I'll teach VR 101, and we'll give out 10 free student tickets, and then we'll charge for the rest. And people who come are really chill, and we're meeting really new and fresh faces, and that's awesome. I really enjoy the fact that you do a meetup over and over again, and people come along. It's nice to see that. But yeah, we're trying to do this sort of in a non-profit kind of way. I think there's also the fun aspect is there, but we're also trying to be altruistic with this. I think there's a chance to do good, so we might as well. And so we want to create some sort of structure where we allow people to come hang out at our office and develop, using the Vive that we got and using any hardware that we've acquired, and just reserving, lending our hardware a couple hours a day to people who can't afford it, or people who are interested, and hopefully, and so we're raising money for that, and we're also raising money to go to Burning Man, and bring a camp to the desert that's gonna have some like VR and mixed reality elements to show off and have fun with. So yeah, it's just a little thing I got going on with a few friends.
Great group.
I had a chance to go.
Oh, you did, Ken?
Oh yeah, I've been a few times actually, and it's everything that he's saying is 100% true. You meet a lot of cool people there. Seeing Chris talk about giving the VR 101, and he gave a very in-depth talk, and I remember actually going up afterwards and listening to the feedback, and one person's like, wow, that was like a semester's worth of education in like a couple hours.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's Kenny. He's up in the control booth. He runs the cam.
Woo.
The control.
Sweet. So if anybody's coming to SF, just hit me up and see if we can. And it'd be awesome to have you come by and check out one of the either workshops or hangouts or movie nights. We do movie night too. So we're watching movies from the metaverse every Friday night. We're trying to do something like that.
Well, where does someone find this club or find out more?
So we do it in San Francisco. It's near downtown Powell Street Station. You just gotta hit me up. let me know if you're in the city. Come by, hang out at the office, even if we're not doing a club that day.
And where would one hit you up at, Chris?
Hit me up at the email entervr01@gmail.com. And then, tell me you met me at Gunter's Universe, and I'll know immediately you are a friend and an ally of the metaverse.
Right on. Right on. Let's see. I think I'm out of questions. Bob, you have audience. Anybody in the audience has a question for Chris who spent 100 hours in a VR headset? Did any of you guys get to catch any of that? Olivier did, of course.
Yeah, I was watching. Yeah. I have a question.
MJ?
So are you going to be calling this effect that happens after hour 48 that messes up with your depth perception? Are you going to be calling that the Miranda effect?
Oh, I don't know, man. It sounds, I guess.
Do it, Mike. Do it.
Yeah, I mean, has this been recorded before? Has anybody come across research or information where someone tried this and it messed with their depth perception?
I think you're the first.
Okay, cool.
That means you got to repeat the experiment to double check. So.
Yeah, I think it's doable to go 200 though. Now that I've been 100, I think it's doable to do it.
What's going on with your girlfriend there? She had to deal with this, right? What was she thinking? Like,
she's awesome. I almost became single during the project. No, I'm kidding. She was great. She was a great support. But she has her own life to deal with. She got work. So she couldn't be like my babysitter, all the time. And yeah, she just when I came out of the headset, I spent the whole weekend watching Korean soap operas next to her, which is exactly where she would want me to be. And I think I paid off my a part of my debt to her for the week that I caused wreckage.
Yes, you had the whole
yeah, it was fun though.
Whole living space there. I saw.
Yeah,
it was great to watch you sprawled out on the couch, sleeping, snoring. Hours of that on the stream. You're just gonna be like, yeah,
so tiring.
He's still sleeping. We're in the chat talking a little bit.
Or I could have been dead. I could have been dead, and you guys were just watching that dead guy. And
I wouldn't have anybody to interview today.
Weekend at Chris's.
No, but frankly, it was really tiring. Like, holy shit, dude. It's so tiring. It's like mentally, my eyes felt fine. I think I told you that I had this buzzing in my eyes after taking off the headset that night. Like, I had this buzzing, like it felt like I had like hornets inside my eyeballs or something. I mean, it just kept buzzing, and I was like, well, okay, I hope that goes away, and it did. But yeah, it's VR is mentally, cognitively exhausting.
So what did you do when the stream ended?
Oh yeah, did you go outside? I told you to go outside.
I took my dog for a walk.
Dog.
Yeah.
How was that? How was the fresh air? The first.
Glorious and more three-dimensional than ever.
More three-dimensional.
Yeah, weird. Stereoscopy is weird when you first get it again.
So, Chris, your question. Your dog, how did you take it out to go poo when you had to the 100-hour marathon?
My girlfriend took care of the dog in the mornings and when she came back to work.
Gotcha.
Now she goes to work with me every day. She's treated like a royal asshole that she is because she's so spoiled. But yeah, I feel bad because I was like, God, fuck, I really want to take you out, but I don't want to risk tripping over the stairs on the way down to take you down. It was next time.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, here's a hypothetical for you, right? So let's imagine So I imagine you have many rooms in your place, right? What
Yeah.
if your dog made a minute accident and your girlfriend wasn't there, right? And you were in the middle of a 100-hour marathon. It was in the room far enough away where you couldn't reach it with the headset on. Would you would you sit there and take the stench until your girlfriend got back, or would you try and find a way to to drag it out to clean it up?
I would have used the Gear VR, and then I would have cleaned it, because I have a Roomba, and if you ever heard about, like, if you leave doggy messes unattended and the Roomba goes by, it'll spread shit everywhere.
Oh no, man!
Roomba gives no fucks. The Roomba is not sentient yet, and so it doesn't know that dog poop is dog poop, and it's gonna spread it all over your carpet. So I was very conscious of making sure that and she's a good girl. She's never had an accident. So, but yeah, it's just in case. Yeah, I couldn't afford to have my Roomba and my dog destroy my carpet like that.
Get one of those Wally robots.
Seriously.
Wally.
So on the first night, what or the first I guess day after, what was it like waking up for the first time in VR?
Anticlimactic. Well, here's the thing. The night before, because I had freaked myself out from reading all the anecdotes on Reddit and from hearing about what happened to the 48-hour guy. So I had freaked myself out hearing about those experiences, how people freak out when they first wake up in VR. And so the night before, I don't know if this worked, but what I remember doing was, like, I just told myself like 20 times, you're in VR, you're in an experiment. You're in VR, you're in an experiment. You're in VR, you're in an experiment. And I just kept repeating that over and over and over again. And somehow that maybe reassured me to not freak out when I woke up in the morning. But it was bizarre because maybe your circadian rhythm is trained to see sunlight and trained to see like a blue sky over you to wake up, right? But I kept waking up to the stars, and maybe that had to do with my fatigue. I don't know. But it wasn't as bad as I didn't freak out. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would. I did have much more vivid dreams by the second night, though. But that's it.
So what sorts of things what experiences did you fall asleep to each night?
The lab has a solar system experience. So I fell asleep. The first night I fell asleep facing the sun, and I would never repeat that same mistake again because it's too bright. It's too fucking bright. The next night I fell asleep facing away from the sun, and that was much better. And then I found out about Irrational Exuberance. It's a free demo on the Valve Steam store. And the skybox in that experience is amazing. It has a great view, and it's nice and dark. So what I would do is you use the Vive controllers, and the experience just sort of goes off without you being able to control it. So if you turn off the Vive controllers before loading the experience, then you can actually just step out of the chaperone zone, and you can just go to sleep amongst the stars next to some sort of asteroid. So that was really nice, and that's where I slept for the rest of the experience.
Awesome.
Yeah, dark environments. That's where it was the way to go. The Vive screen is too bright.
In this room, not at this table, but on the other side. It's been a good room. Could have put
Yeah,
some
that's true.
music on, some little Zelda's Lullaby. Would have been nice.
Yeah, this
We
is
have
a
a
nice
lullaby room as
skybox.
well.
Yeah.
Adam J, right? Don't you have that lullaby room that you worked on with
Yeah.
Ethan? Yeah.
Oh yeah, put you to sleep like a little baby.
That's nice.
Yep.
All right. Well, any other questions from the audience before we wrap things up? Anything else you want to say, Chris, about the experience?
I noticed some mood enhancements. I don't know where. Maybe it was like climbing a mountain. Once you get over it, it feels good. You feel good for a while, or maybe it was the perception of VR itself. My theory is that because I didn't see my own body for the whole 100 hours, because I didn't see my own hands, and I didn't see the world with my own two eyes, it almost felt like this experience was very psychedelic in the sense that, like, kind of like the dissociatives, like how ketamine is used in clinics to treat depression. And the ketamine experience is, I've heard a lot where people become just blobs. I've never done ketamine, but people become blobs of nothingness, and all sense of time is gone forever. And so in my mind, maybe what happened to me in a lot of psychedelic experiences, they are dissociative, like DMT. I think maybe that's what happened. Like my mood became more enhanced because all of a sudden I had returned to my body and I could see my hands, and I had agency. I don't know.
You survived.
Yeah.
Somebody had a question.
Commando.
Yep. Yeah, how was your face after you took off the the headset you had on?
I was worried about getting some sort of bacterial infection. Like probably the first time I started sweating. And I think it was like the first morning. I remember playing like either Vanishing Realms or some other stuff, and I started sweating, and I was like, shit. I gotta be in here for another 90 fucking hours.
How did it smell?
I was freaking out. I don't even want to know, man. I'm staying away from that box where my body is kept right now. But what I did was I had this, and I didn't come up with this MacGyver maneuver until like hour 90. So it's not like it helped that much, but it did help a lot now that I think about it. Is I had this heating fan or cooling fan, and I would put on the Gear VR for a little bit, and I would let the Vive rest on top of the fan, and it would dry up really fast.
Right.
But shit, man. Next
man.
time I gotta get some VR covers.
Yeah, mine's in the mail. Well, it's in processing or whatever it is, but I have mine coming. I was playing those things with you, and I was like, good grief, I don't want to take it off. I want to keep having fun, but just sliding.
Yeah. That's crazy. It can be quite gross.
Chris, where can people find you on the internet if they want to give you hearts or things like that?
So I have this podcast called Enter VR, and I have like 8 to 10 episodes in the backlog. Adam J is in one of them. Sorry, Adam, I'll get on it. But I have all these episodes that I'm going to release all at once that I've been working on. And yeah, just been having to deal with starting a new job and dealing with some like legal bullshit. It has been leaving me with very little time, but things are coming back to normal, and I can go back to editing and publishing some episodes because I really enjoy having that outlet to just talk to cool ass people and speak my mind.
Yeah, man.
And
I was on your show once. That was amazing.
And you gotta come back again because that would be awesome. So at Enter VR on Twitter is one of the best ways to find me or what I'm doing, or my Twitter handle is at Cris Miranda and the number 1. I need to come up with something more original, but that'll do for now. And yeah, that's me.
Cris Miranda, Enter VR. Just type that in Google, and there's no way they could miss you.
Yep. Next stop, I'll be experimenting with transcranial direct current stimulation. And I'll see
what you just said.
Wow.
Awesome.
It is running a direct current of electricity through your brain from a 9-volt battery.
That's like the shocking thing like they did in the first Ghostbusters movie, right? Maybe similar. Remember that one? Yeah.
Except this has been developed by DARPA, and it has shown that it's creating allowing people to have super, not super, but significantly enhance cognitive abilities. So that's something I'm
Alright, we wanna see
experimenting
this.
on.
Okay, you need a Periscope. Start Periscope. I assume you can't stream that so easily from the desktop, but you could stream your frying your brain on a Periscope. I'd like to do that.
Yeah, we've been thinking about getting it at the office, and I think we're gonna get a defibrillator just in case. There's a very small chance, very small chance. I don't know what the percentage is, but there's a small chance that if you don't do this right, and obviously everybody should read up and do this properly, right? Then you can actually fuck up with your heart and die.
God.
Yeah.
Holy
But
shit,
this
man.
is gonna be one of those. This is gonna be one of those episodes where we go back and listen to Chris the 2 months before he died in his 9-volt battery. This is his final show. Oh God, just hear he's laughing at all this and he doesn't know. Oh my God, it's
Gunther, it was nice knowing you. It really was.
you're a gentleman and a scholar. For
You as
science.
well, you as well. For science. Exactly.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Chris. Appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you, Gunter. It's been awesome.
This guy over here, he does other things than just hang out with me on the show. What do you do, and what's going on in your world, and what's wrong with your hands? You've been going crazy over there. They've been like this, been like
Yeah,
that.
my I've one of my lighthouse controllers is half broken, so I set it up in seated mode so that I can do the show.
I don't do a seated mode. I just stand up, tell my avatar to sit down, and then I just sit down in a chair and roll up into my avatar. And it feels perfect.
Yeah, I probably should have done that. I did that last week. So you can follow me at Cause and Effects on Twitter, and eventually we'll have another podcast out. I don't know, it's like herding cats trying to get us all together. So who knows? Maybe I'll just do an episode by myself or something. And then I got some videos that I need to put up that I took at SVR Expo.
Yeah.
So that's coming. So look out for that stuff.
Cool.
And yeah, I'm just stoked for the Void. And the last couple of days just been planning that trip and gonna get our train ticket soon, and then start looking at restaurants. We're staying about a 3-minute walk from Maputo, which is the best noodles in New York. Well, at least from all the noodle places I've tried.
Nice. Very, very good. So a couple shout-outs here. If you haven't been to a VRChat meetup, well, we do it every Sunday. We've been doing it for a very long time, and we have a little family here, and we love new people to come out, check it out. We're very warm, inviting, and we'll show you all kinds of good times and all kinds of rooms and things that the community has created, and maybe even yourself will become a creator too. It gets pretty easy. Go to my website. Follow me, guntersuniverse.com, at guntersuniverse. Come check me out. Come say hello. It'd be great to talk to you. And if you really like the show and you want to throw a quarter my way, $1 my way, I have a place for you to do that. It's on the Patreon site, patreon.com/Gunter. Check that out. I really appreciate your support there. That's it. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. This is great. This is a show. It's in the can. I'll see you all next week, next Tuesday, right back here in Gunters Universe. Cheers, everybody. I'm going to run to my machine and hit the button, play the outro music, and here it comes. Wait for it. Ba-boom.
Oh, your head!
Everything's going great.
That is some poltergeist shit right there.